I want to get to some breaking news right now. The family of George Floyd visiting the site where he took his last breath.
This is the first time seeing the spot where he lost his life in Minneapolis, Minnesota. A live look there with the family, attorney, and George Floyd's son. This is in Minneapolis, again, the intersection where he lost his life more than a week ago. And
we heard from Terrence Floyd a couple of days ago there at the scene, calling for peace among the protests that have been taking place, not just in Minneapolis, but in cities across the country, including here in Houston, where we had a march for George Floyd, in honor of George Floyd, yesterday from Discovery Green all the way to Houston City Hall, where members of Floyd's family spoke, along with our elected leaders, calling for peace, calling for calm, and calling for change, calling for an end to police brutality.
And it was a very peaceful afternoon. Last night we did have some arrests downtown late into the evening, but largely peaceful and relatively few arrests, considering some 60,000 were estimated to be at yesterday's demonstration.
Attorney Ben Crump there on the scene as well. He's been telling reporters there that he expects the other 3 officers who were at that scene where George Floyd lost his life, he expects those officers to be charged very soon. George Floyd, as we know, will be memorialized in Minneapolis tomorrow and in North Carolina on Saturday. A celebration of life will be taking place here in Houston on Tuesday, June the 9th. Before that, a public visitation is set to take place at a church that's not too far from our station, Lisa.
Exactly right, Andy. We are expecting the family to speak here momentarily. We're waiting for that to happen. We'll, of course, stay with this live picture. We do know that there is a mural painted near that intersection at a convenience store that depicts Floyd and the words, "I can breathe now," which references Floyd, of course, repeatedly saying, "I can't breathe," while he was being held down at that intersection. Here they are taking a knee at that spot.
Taking a knee in prayer, a very solemn moment for the family as they remember and honor George Floyd's life, at the very spot where he died back on Monday, May the 25th. The officer who had his knee on George Floyd's neck, Derek Chauvin, charged with 3rd-degree murder. There have been protests, as we've been seeing across the country, protesters demanding for tougher charges against not just that officer, but they want the other officers who were involved to be charged as well. This is a very touching moment that we're looking at. If you are just joining us now here live, this is a live picture from Minneapolis, Minnesota, where George Floyd's family is visiting the site where he died. This is their first visit to this site. Attorney Ben Crump there as well. As you can see, they are walking toward the microphones, ready to make a statement ahead of George Floyd's memorial, which is set to take place in Minneapolis, Minnesota tomorrow. Let's go ahead and listen in.
I'm Attorney Ben Crump, the lead attorney for the family of George Floyd. Quiet, please. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, the lead attorney for the family of George Floyd. And recently arriving in Minneapolis is his son, Quincy Mason. He's going to make a few remarks to you. Understand this is a young man who is brokenhearted, and this is very emotional for him. Now, we come here today to this spot to remember George Floyd, who was tortured to death. And so we thank the Minnesota governor for bringing human rights charges against the Minneapolis Police Department, because we absolutely believe that he was tortured in the last 8 minutes and 46 seconds of his life. Witness Donna Williams yesterday, who was the person in the video saying you all are going to kill him, likened it to suffocation, like a fish out of water, gasping for air. The independent autopsy performed by the family concluded that George Floyd was starving for air. He needed a breath. And the ambulance that came here to pick him up from this very spot was the hearse for George Floyd. And so we are demanding justice based on the autopsy findings, but more importantly, what the entire world has seen now with their eyes that they cannot unsee. The autopsy, the medical reasons cause of death was mechanical asphyxiation based on the knee to his neck and the two knees to his back that was compressing his lungs, not allowing them to circulate air and blood to his brain. He died because he was starving for air. He needed a breath. And so we are demanding justice. We expect all of the police officers to be arrested before we have the memorial here in Minneapolis, Minnesota tomorrow. Because we cannot have two justice systems in America, one for black America and one for white America. We must have equal justice for the United States of America.
Yeah! Yeah! That's what we want.
And change is going to come in the tragic killing of George Floyd. And I proclaim, with his son as my witness, that change starts today.
Yeah! Yeah!
We are confident that Attorney General Keith Ellison is working feverishly to do the right thing. And what is the right thing? To make sure that George Floyd family is afforded justice by holding these officers accountable to the full extent of the law. Each and every one of those 4 officers.
Yeah, we want that.
Attorney General Ellison has a track record in championing civil rights for those who are marginalized, for people like George Floyd, because Black Lives Matter and George Floyd's life mattered too. Quincy is going to make a few remarks. I'll try to take a few questions, and then we're going to let him go receive the rest of his family at the airport, and then we will keep you updated. We fully expect there to be an announcement with these officers being arrested, and we will give you the family reaction when that happens. But right now, I introduce to the world Mr. Quincy Mason, George Floyd's son, to say a few remarks on behalf of him and his family. Talk as loud as you can.
I'm here reunited with my family, trying to get justice for my father. And no man or woman should be without their fathers.
We want justice.
And we want justice for what's going on right now. I appreciate everyone for showing him some support and love. I thank y'all for that.
This is so emotional.
We've seen a lot of protests.
This is so emotional that
Quincy, we've seen so many protests around the world, including Australia, about what's happened to your father. A lot of people there are protesting about what's happened to Indigenous people of colour in custody in Australia. Do you have any message to them about what has happened?
I just want to thank them for supporting my family and to see justice for this.
This is a pivotal moment in our country because of what happened.
We need change because we can't have this happen to anybody else.
We need change. This can't happen to anybody else.
Okay.
Quincy, did you learn about the death of your father on TV like everybody else? Is that the first time you?
No.
Okay. His family notified him.
We love you, Quincy. We love you, man.
Thank you all.
We love you, Quincy.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to George Floyd's family attorney, Ben Crump, at the intersection where George Floyd lost his life at the hands of police brutality more than a week ago. Floyd's son, Quincy, also there, an emotional moment for him as well. Go ahead, Andy.
Extremely emotional for him, saying to the crowd there, no son should ever have to be without his father. Also taking the time, Lisa, to thank the protesters, not just there in the city of Minneapolis or the protesters here in the United States, but to thank protesters all around the world who have come out to show their support for the family.
Absolutely, and that attorney says that he fully expects those remaining officers to be arrested and charged in the death of George Floyd at some point here.
We will have much more on this in our newscasts and on click2houston.com. Stay with us after. We'll be right back after a short break.